It's a really great story. So it really is based on community organizing and community voice.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Lawrence over at KeyOpp, and we're lucky to be here at the Richmond Neighborhood Center to interview and learn more about this nonprofit and the wonderful programs I have. And so, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'd love to. My name is Michelle Casano. I'm the Executive Director of the Richmond Neighborhood Center. I've been part of the Neighborhood Center for 24 years now. I started out as a youth worker and I'm now the Executive Director.
Okay.
So back in 1980, this building that you see here was an old abandoned, actually a former San Francisco Unified School District building.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and because it was falling apart and it became something that the city was looking at to develop and build and put some condos in. And a group of neighbors were concerned about that because what they really wanted was they saw an absence of youth programs, youth enrichment programs in the neighborhood, and nonprofit organizations that could do really great things for the community. So they rallied together and they organized and created the Richmond Neighborhood Center to be a place, a hub of community services for the neighborhood. So it was all because of a group of parents that were organized enough to get together and make this happen.
That's fantastic. Now, it's a hub of different services, so it
Right.
isn't just youth. What other things do you guys do here?
Yeah, so it's interesting how it evolved. So we started out actually in the 80s to fulfill the need for arts enrichment programs that were being cut from the school district at the time. And so out of that, we just started growing more and more youth development programming. As funding came down from the state and the city, we started running programs at the local public schools and after school programs.
Okay.
And so out of that, we were doing youth leadership as well and running food pantries. And we had a food pantry here at the Neighborhood Center just one day a week, and it was run by students who were paid and employed to run the pantry. And then when the pantry when that funding ran out in the early 2000s, we realized that the pantry was still in need. People still needed that food service.
Mm-hmm.
So we organized volunteers from the community, adult volunteers, and we got volunteers from high schools and schools like you see today that can come down and make the pantry run. So we did that one day a week, and then the need continued to escalate as costs of living continued to rise. And now we run food pantries 4 days a week, 2 at a school, 1 in the community, and 2 days here at the Richmond Neighborhood Center.
And that's every single week, all year round?
Every single week. We serve 1,500 people with food to feed our insecure neighbors.
Okay.
And that's how that evolved.
And the beneficiaries of the food pantry aren't just seniors. Who are they?
There are people who live in the neighborhood, anybody who needs food. So we have people who can walk to and from the pantry to come
Okay.
get the food. So mostly it can be seniors, but it can be any families as well.
Okay.
And you just sign up through the San Francisco Marin Food Bank, and then we provide the food and we figure out what day of the week and which pantry you're closest to. And then also we provide food for homebound seniors. So that's who else is getting the food. And the way we do that is we recruit volunteers from the neighborhood, volunteers like you, volunteers that just are neighbors that live nearby, who can come pick up a bag of groceries and deliver it to a senior who can no longer get to and from the food bank or for our food pantry. So even though our food pantries are very accessible and in all different areas of the neighborhood, there are just some folks that just can't get up and down the stairs of their homes. So they need someone to come and deliver them the food because
Okay.
and that helps people age in place.
Okay.
So we have these volunteers from the neighborhood who are just really dedicated to the community and want to be a part of something as special as this and develop a relationship with a senior that is in their neighborhood that they can just check on every day and make sure they're healthy, make sure they're not isolated, they're connected to people again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
no, that
yeah.
makes perfect sense. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. I walked through earlier and I was amazed at what you guys have here in terms of the amount of food that you're unboxing and packaging together to all these seniors and these people that are in need. Can you share a little bit about some of the stuff that they're picking up today as an example?
Oh yeah, so it's really great what the partnership we have with San Francisco Marin Food Bank. They drop off literally tons and tons of food. So they drop off that food and then we get it off the truck with all of our amazing, it takes a lot of people power, all of our amazing volunteers, and it can be watermelons, cantaloupes, corn, fresh eggs. We even have chicken, meats, very healthy, all very healthy food. And the goal is that you're not getting things processed, you're getting very fresh items. In addition to the food that we get, the celery, the tomatoes, the fruits and vegetables that we get from the San Francisco Marin Food Bank, we also partner with the Human Services Agency to also provide culturally responsive food. And what we do with that is we actually go out and we shop at local merchants and we survey the people that we serve here and ask them what they want. So if they want a specific Chinese vegetable or a specific pantry item, we can go buy that. One of the biggest things was sesame oil. So we found a local company that sold sesame oil. We add that to the bags of groceries so that the folks coming to get food can supplement the basics that they get from the San Francisco Marin Food Bank with things that actually relate to their culture and make them feel more at home. So
that's pretty impressive.
And so that also takes a lot of people power. So my staff are out shopping and making sure that restocking, especially our community market space in the community.
So it's safe to say that you guys can't accomplish all this without great partners like the SF Marin Food Bank.
100%. Right? It takes a community. It takes everyone. It takes our volunteers. It takes our partners with the city funding. It takes our partners with the San Francisco Marin Food Bank. It takes our collaborators. We partner with the Richmond Senior Center for when a volunteer notices an issue with a senior, could be a situation of hoarding or a situation that might be depression. We can reach out to the Richmond Senior Center and they are able to connect them with even more social services. So it takes really a whole community of resources to really make sure that everybody can thrive.
And obviously people coming in, or even you and your teams going out to visit the seniors, you wouldn't know what the condition of them are without this very helpful and very needed service.
Yes.
Now you brought up funding at the very beginning, and you touched upon it a little bit more just now. You get state funding, you get city funding, but I'm guessing that's probably not enough, right?
No, that's not enough. So city and state funding also has a lot of regulations, a certain amount of funding that you get per bag, but you always know that the cost of a bag isn't really that much. You need to really, it's more than the cost that you're able to get from the city. So we have to do a lot of fundraising, and we write grants to foundations. We write grants to community partners such as yourself, like KeyOps. Being able to sponsor our organization is that added funding that is needed for us to really make the programs whole. So city departments can give you the basic funding, but you really have to round it out with funding from neighbors like you, corporations, local businesses that are able to give back to the community. So that's why we do things like our fundraisers and Wine on the West Side. That's what I love about it. It's like there are people like you, the KeyOpp, that comes and says, hey, how can we help? And we're able to activate y'all, get you into to help the community. And so that's the great thing about the Richmond District. There are a lot of resources here and a lot of people willing to give their time. And so that's the number one thing that you can do, is just get involved. Learn about the neighborhood center, learn about all the nonprofits and the resources in the Richmond District, and use your expertise. And we're starting to pilot some youth employment work outside of our own programs and have students do internships at local businesses. So any local businesses interested in doing that can help develop our capacity to be able to serve youth, right?
Okay.
And so those are the kinds of things. The volunteers, looking for volunteers, especially volunteers with language capacity, or whether or not you have language capacity. If you're able to come and volunteer and deliver a bag of groceries to a senior, or come and lend a hand at our community pantry on Wednesdays, or we need some extra help. Like, pay attention to what we're posting on our Instagram pages, what we're posting on Facebook, so that you can know when we need support and when we need help and what kind of support we need.
Okay.
So,
So the key is obviously awareness and knowledge.
Yep.
and then just getting involved. And the best way to get involved is going to your website, going to your social media channels, and seeing what you guys are posting about, learning about it, finding out that there is an opportunity to come in and help out on these certain occasions.